Welcome to the Mom Boss Podcast, the show where motherhood meets business and everything in between. I hope you enjoyed today's show. Let's get started. Hey everyone, and welcome to the Mom Boss Podcast. I'm your host, Bailey Gordon, and today I am so excited. Number one, this is my first time at Empower House, which is Empower PNW's new home base. I am thrilled to be here. We are recording our first podcast here, and it's my first ever duo podcast. So with two people at the same time, it's kind of like a little menage a trois. Right? And this will get the meeting. Meaning only sexual.
Okay. All right.
It does mean a household of three.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah.
We are a household of three. And Empower House. So anyway, I wanted to introduce to you the dynamic duo of Wallace Homes and Loans. They are best friends, sister-in-laws, business partners, all the things. Welcome to the show, Taryn and Michelle. Who wants to go first? Actually, I did bring a coin. Who wants to go first? Who's going to be heads?
Me.
Heads?
Yeah.
You want to be tails?
No.
Definitely.
I feel like heads is always a winner, but watch.
No,
It's going to
tails
lose.
never fails.
Oh, I didn't know that one. Tails never fail.
Wait,
I like that.
Okay, let's see. Your heads. Okay. Tails.
Tails never fails. Okay.
Michelle, you're up first. Just go ahead and introduce yourself. Let's talk about your family first.
So I'm Michelle Wallace. See, I'm Michelle Wallace, but I'm also Michelle McCormick because I am married and my last name is McCormick.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, so it gets a little dicey there. I go by Michelle Wallace for my business community. I am a mom. I have two littles. I have a almost 4-year-old.
She's going to be four.
Evelyn, and then I have a 16-month-old, Michael. My husband and I have been married for 5.5 years. We met because of a rugby game.
We love a rugby. We love rugby.
Not here though, which is weird.
I love that. Where?
In Chicago.
Okay, yeah, that's right.
I was living in Chicago at the time, and he was there with some of my friends from WSU and came to Chicago for a rugby game. I was already in the process of moving back to Seattle. I'm born and raised in Washington. Brother and sister-in-law were going to start having babies, and I didn't want to be auntie from far away, so I decided to look for opportunities within Marriott hotels, which is what my job was before, to move back to Seattle in 2015. We started dating, got married in 2019, and then had our 2 beautiful children.
Amazing. Yeah, that's awesome. Oh my gosh, I love rugby. I love a good rugby story.
Okay, and Taryn. I'm Taryn Wallace. I married Michelle's brother. Everyone thinks we're the related ones, but we're not.
We really do need to get some kind of a family tree.
Yeah, because we're normally together and we talk like each other. We wear the same kind of shit, you know, so
you guys have
it's very confusing.
Yeah.
So anyways, I married Chris, her brother, in 2014. We met in college. We're friends in college, left college, and then got together after that. But yeah, we've been married for almost 11 years. This year will be 11 years. And then we have 4 kids. So
A lot of years and a lot of kids.
yeah. So I mean,
I love it.
we didn't really plan it that way, but you know,
exactly.
things happen.
Yeah.
So we have Scarlett, who is 8, and she's the oldest daughter, and she is the oldest.
Yeah.
And then we have a junior, and he is 5. He'll be 6 in March. And Aiden, who is 4, and Saloni Bear, and she's 2. So they're very bam, 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 bam. We did IVF for the first 2, so we always say we bought 2, got 2 for free. Oh, it wasn't supposed to be 4 children, but here we are. We wouldn't have it any other way. My husband works for Seattle City Light as a crew chief, as well as he has his own business. So he owns Northwest Electric and Lighting. I'm a loan officer, so I do the financing side of the Wallace Homes and Loans. I'm the loans.
Yeah, the loans.
I work for Guild Mortgage. My company office is actually based out of Maple Valley, but I am mostly around this hood down here.
So I am the homes part of Wallace Homes and Loans. I'm a real estate agent with Keller Williams, where I hang my license Federal Way. But again, we both live in Lake Tapps.
Yep.
So I typically service King County, Pierce County. My husband is from Olympia, so I get a lot of so I have done down to Olympia and stuff too. So
Okay. I know next to nothing about either of your jobs.
I have bought a home and I still don't. I have the fun part of the job because I get to go show the houses. And Taryn has the money part of the job.
Yeah.
Do you like that?
Yes.
Yes, you do.
I do.
Yes.
Yeah, 100%. I don't like a gray area. So it's like you qualify or you don't qualify. If you don't qualify, it's just figuring out how to get you there, right?
Yeah.
So then it's like the plan of action. For me, it's very easy because I'm black and white, yes or no. I don't have to, do you like it? What if we did this?
Yeah.
I don't really have patience for that.
Yeah.
I have 4 kids. So
Yeah.
that's patience. That's
Your
where that
patient-
goes.
You
Yeah.
only have so
So
much.
for me, I'm like, yes, this is how much money you have. This is how it works. Here's what you can do.
Yeah.
X, Y, Z. Okay, go do the thing.
What's your Enneagram?
I'm 2.
A 2. Okay. I don't know anything about anything other than 7s because
2 is like a helper. We like
Okay.
to help everybody and everything, and we don't take care of ourselves, basically.
Oh, that tracks.
Yeah. We
Okay.
don't take care of ourselves. We do everything for everyone else, and we just want to be appreciated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's like that's
In
a
a
Cliff Note
nutshell.
version. Yeah.
Will you cliff note the 7 for everybody?
High energy and don't like to be bored.
Yeah.
I'm curious, with both of your jobs, how did you get into them and what do you love about your job? So I'm going to go with Michelle.
So I was licensed in 2017. Well, like I said, I had a full-time job. I worked for Marriott. I was a dual career agent. And I've always, my entire life, had a job since I was like 15. And when I was in college, I had a job. And then after college, I always had 2 jobs. I was bartending as well as doing Marriott. So it kind of always made sense that I had 2 jobs. And COVID happened. And my safe job of Marriott was no longer safe. And I was furloughed. The swift kick in my ass to do real estate full-time.
Yeah.
Because that's scary to be a commission-based only.
Yeah.
You do not have a salary come in. Do not sell a house. And you don't give the salary till the house closes.
There's no
You know what I mean?
secure
That's
situation.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't
No,
even pay any money.
nothing.
Anything unless
$0.
you sell that house.
Everything that's upfront that you have to spend.
You've put it out.
It doesn't matter.
If the house, if you have a listing and you paid for all the marketing and everything, it doesn't sell, you're out the money. So it's very scary, but at the same time, if you budget and you do it correctly, it can be fine. COVID was a swift kick in the butt. I got into real estate because of actually. So the reason why I chose my office in Federal Way was that used to be a territory that I covered in my business development for Marriott. And I was introduced to a few real estate agents at that office. And it really just clicked for me because the culture and the values of Keller Williams are very similar to Marriott. And I was like, well, this makes sense. Take care of the associate. They take care of the guests. They come back. That's like Marriott's whole spiel. Keller Williams is like the same thing.
That's nice.
So they're very agent focused. All of the offices, there's an agent leadership council, which I'm now on, that we make all of our decisions through the agents. We're the voice of the agent. So that was my leaning point to go to Keller Williams. I was doing like 8 to 10 transactions a year when I was doing it part-time.
Yeah.
But again, every weekend I was doing open houses. I didn't have kids at the time. So it made sense. Like, it's fine. 2020, furloughed. Honestly, that was an amazing time for me. It was what I needed to do it full-time.
Yeah.
And so I started doing it full-time. I was still furloughed while I was pregnant with Evelyn, which was actually awesome because I got to take my maternity leave with Marriott and still get paid the maternity leave. And then when I had Evelyn, they asked me to come back. At the time, I was working at the Westin in downtown Seattle, and I had moved from Kent to Lake Tapps. And they're like, so you want to come back to the hotel? And I'm like, yeah, no.
Yeah.
I don't want to commute
absolutely
to
not.
downtown Seattle.
No.
So I asked to do remote 5 days a week, and they said no. So I was like, okay,
Yeah.
this is fine. I was like,
Awesome, though. I mean, it really does, like, a turning point like that
Yes.
is honestly how a lot of people get into their
and
full-time.
sometimes you kind of need it
Yes.
to
To
be
push
an
you.
outside force.
Yes.
That's not you making that decision.
Mhm.
And obviously, it's scary. I'm very thankful that my husband has a full-time job that has benefits, because that's really the hardest part is like the health benefits that you would have to pay if you're an entrepreneur by yourself. Having my husband have that is really great, and starting a family was helpful.
Taryn, same question. How did you get into it? What prompted you into it? And also a question for both of you, what your Wallace Homes and Loans is like outside of Keller Williams, outside of Guild, what we do together.
Starting out, I used to work for good old Desert Sun.
Oh,
So I used to manage a lot of
I think I
Desert Sun
still
tanning
probably have,
salons.
like,
You probably
an
do.
account there.
Yeah, probably.
Probably have some
Probably.
tans.
Yep, probably. So I started out doing that, and then I district managed the Federal Way locations. I would go to manager meetings, and I'd have all these great marketing ideas. They'd be like, "Oh, that's a great idea. We should do that." And then they would do it, and then I was like, "Well, maybe I should just do that."
Yeah.
So I started applying places, and I happened to get a marketing position at the time. It was actually Bay Equity, this mortgage company. I knew nothing about loans and nothing about anything. I'd never bought a house before, and I was 24.
Yeah.
So I was like, whatever, we'll do this. They were like, okay, marketing. So we don't know what you're supposed to do. There's nobody in the state of Washington that has this position. And the only other position in the whole company is in Utah. I was like, cool. So what am I supposed to do? And they were like, I don't know. Here's the CRM. Here's my login.
Figure it
Figure it out. And I was like, okay. And also, can you sit up front because you're nice. Oh, okay, sure. So I'm sitting up front.
As people enter.
I mean, cool. I was 24. I didn't care. You can press the phone button, whatever. So I started out doing that, and I went into the CRM, and then like nobody knew about it. No one knew how it worked, and I just like started, quite frankly, fucking around in it. Like, okay, what are we doing here? And so I did that, and I ended up going to this manager's meeting and asking all these questions to this person who had flown in from Utah because she was the only one that was doing it. And the director of the Northwest region looks at me and he's like, how do you know all these things? And I was like, this is literally all I've been doing for the last 2 weeks. So that's how the marketing started. Within that, I learned how to do events and how to market people. And this was back in the day. We had 32 loan officers and 32 Facebook pages to manage. And it was Facebook at the time because Instagram wasn't cool then.
Yeah.
So I started managing all this stuff for them, helping with their relationships and learning how to use a CRM and database management. And then we started adding in events, and I realized I was pretty fucking good at events.
Yeah, you are.
And so they were like, can you just do this contract with the base and make sure you plan all these events and we'll do what you tell us to do? I was like, sure, great. So I planned all those events, started in marketing. Finally, after a couple years, I was about to have my first daughter. And I was like, I don't know why I'm doing this for everyone else. I need to do it for myself. And so I got my license. And at the same time, we had just bought our house and closed on Halloween. And then Michelle came home and I was like, well, don't rent. Just go buy a house. You could do it. And she's like, okay. She comes into the office. I didn't even know anything. Like, I wasn't doing loans at the time. Yeah. I take her. I'm like, here's this guy. He's really cool and really good at doing all this stuff. Just go talk to him. She's like, okay. At the time, there was a down payment assistance program that Chris and I had utilized. And I was like, there's this program. You can use it. Get in while you can. She did. You don't have to pay it back. So I was like, just do it. She's like, all right. And so she did it. And she closed on Christmas Eve.
Yeah, I didn't get the commission.
No, which whatever. That's
not
fine.
Even like a lunch.
No, I mean,
like a referral dinner.
No, not at that. Not at that time. I wasn't licensed, but I knew it would be a great benefit for her, and she had done that. So then once she had bought her house, she was like, I should do this, and I was like, and then we can do it together.
Same.
So she got her license. I got my license very shortly after, and then that's what birthed Wallace Homes and Loans, pretty much at that point. And at the time, I had stayed with the same company. The name on the door had changed lots of times, but I had stayed my whole entire career, like 9 years, because I'm like loyal to the death.
Yeah.
Like, I don't give up on people, you know?
Yeah.
And so I was like, I love this place. I love these people. And then just got to a point where I was like, everyone around me is asking me for help, and I'm not even doing that great. Like, I'm doing good, but not great. I need to go somewhere where there's bigger people doing bigger things that I can learn and grow. So then I made the decision to move to where I am now, which is Guild Mortgage. I should have done it sooner, honestly. But that's why I am where I am and how it started. Because we obviously are very similar. She comes from a hospitality background. Yeah. I love events.
Marketing.
So for us, it was like, okay, how do we take care of people and not lose them along the way? Because we do transactions with people and you can just be done and see you later. But for us, that's not the reason we're in this business. Both of us like relationships. That's literally the reason why we do this. And so for us, it was like, okay, how do we capitalize on the people we know, the places we are, and the people we see? And for us, I mean, we're so connected. Yeah. And even if we're not doing it, we're probably doing it for our friends or we're just with each other. We have to call ahead at a restaurant because I have 4 kids. She has 2 kids. So us together with our family, there's 10.
It's already an event.
Grandma's always there. Maggie's always there. And then my parents also come. And my brother comes. So it's like 16 people no matter where we go.
Life well.
We're naturally used to that. How do we capitalize on this to not only show our people that we're going to be here forever and always continue to provide value? I think for us, we just decided, okay, we're going to really hone in on our sphere of people that we love and adore and that we know, love, trust, and want to use us for anything. Let's start there.
We're not going to be cold calling people. That's just not
neither of us will want to do that, nor we will refuse.
It's a good way to stay in contact with our people.
Yeah.
Referral.
We're not being
and we genuinely like them.
We truly want to see you. We want to hang out with you. We want to do these things. And this is a way for us to connect with you without being like, how's your week going?
We're both super genuine people and we don't fake it. Like, we're not like, oh, I really like you. And then talk about like, no, if we like you, we like you. Right. If we don't, we just don't talk to you. Like, this is not how either of us function. Yeah. So for us, it was just an easy thing to come together. Also, we work really well together. Our brains, like, we can look at each other and literally Chris sometimes will be like, did you even speak a word of English? Like, you both have a conversation and I have no idea where it started, where it stopped or what was even said because you didn't even say real words. You just looked at each other and then you're like, yeah, and then blah, blah, blah. And then she's like, the fuck just happened?
What
And we're like, and we're like, well, I knew where her brain was going. She knew where my brain was going. So she didn't have to finish the sentence. I knew what she was saying. She knew what I was saying. The way we talk and how we talk is very similar. Sometimes we'll have clients that don't know who they're talking to because they're like, wait, hold on. Am I talking to Michelle or Taryn? You guys sound the same. We talk fast. We got a lot of
passionate about
we got a lot of hand motions. Like, you know, they're just always showing something.
Watch out.
But yeah, I think for us, it was just easy. Someone who gravitates towards Michelle most of the time will also gravitate towards me. If you buy one, you get one. We're normally doing the same shit.
Yeah, that's your
Even if I don't want to do something, she's like, you should do this with me. I'm like, fine.
Yeah, she can.
I wasn't going to get a tattoo at this event. And then I was like, and then she did it. And
I saw you guys' matching tattoo.
I was like, fine. Well, if all the friends did it, I have to do it.
Obviously.
You know?
If they all jump off the bridge.
I would probably jump off the bridge with her though, because she would have thought about the safety of our children.
She would have?
Yeah,
as a
she
7,
would.
I don't.
Yeah. I mean, probably not as thorough as I should, but I would think about it.
Yeah.
I think it has definitely come with age.
Yeah.
Think about it more.
Absolutely.
She used to not think about it. Yeah.
I remember jumping off of a cliff in Lake Havasu, super drunk. I look back and I'm like, that was such a bad decision.
Oh yeah.
The cliffs at Pullman.
The Pullman cliff?
Oh, see, I'm a husky.
Yeah.
So
Sorry.
Okay. Is it common for loan officers and real estate agents to form a bond and create something like Wallace?
I mean, it's very common that they have preferred lenders. So like 9 times out of 10, if you talk to a real estate agent, they have at least
a person.
Yeah. That they're like, I always send my kids to this. And especially there's an agent in our office and his mom is a lender. So they have that type of thing. I will say it's not as common that someone has Wallace Homes and Loans is the name of
their company.
brand.
Yeah. That's her brand, not
She
mine.
can't brand that because of legal purposes.
I'm Taryn Wallace Gilbert.
Okay.
So my LLC is Wallace Homes and Loans LLC. My brand, right?
Yeah.
But it's also
Clear.
Clear. It's my brand.
It's Michelle's business. Just here for support.
So does it have to be here? And I'm like, no. I mean, obviously, if then I prefer her, and if that's not the fit, then we can find whoever. But like she said, we work well together. We're a second brain of each other, and I know how to get a hold of her.
Yeah,
but
she doesn't answer. I'm right over
if I
here.
get a pre-approval at 7 p.m. on a Sunday, I know I'll get that pre-approval from her. It's not going to not happen.
She's got my location. Bitch, I know you're at
Answer-
home. You better answer my phone call.
Why aren't you answering?
You don't have a life. Call me. Yeah.
If you're not with me, what
What are you doing? No, literally. No, sometimes I will speed dial her. What are you doing? Because you didn't tell me you were going there, and I can see that you're there. So what?
So you're
You're just gonna hater dial me? I just texted her all caps rude.
Yeah. I love that. Oh my gosh, I need more people in my life.
What are you getting at cost?
The funny thing was, I didn't even know how to share locations because Chris and I don't care. And then I started thinking about it, and then Michelle was like, "Give me your phone," and I was like, "Okay." And then she shared my location with herself.
We were going to Mexico, and they are our girlfriends that we're going with. And then I was like, "If you
that looks so either."
And then I was like, "Oh, my husband's on really large, sketchy ladders. Maybe if he falls off, I should know where he is or something."
Yeah.
Especially for what I do too, my husband.
Oh yeah, if she's at an open house,
Absolutely.
Showing, and it becomes the second showing, and it's the third showing, and they're like, where are you?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But fuck Egypt.
Obviously.
I will show houses sometimes.
and it'll look like she's in a field, and I'll be like, "Are you okay? You look like you're in the middle of the water.
Yeah.
What's wrong?"
Yes.
But yeah, it's
As a photographer, I feel this very
because you're just in random fields somewhere
you
taking
do
photos.
the thing your parents said never do. You're entering houses with strangers.
And sometimes they're home. Well, that's awkward. Yeah.
The stranger's house that I've been to
is home.
It could be a whole podcast. I'd seen it.
Okay, we are absolutely going to have separate podcasts. It's absolutely going to happen. I do want to take the moment to mention that you guys are the sponsor for our February Galentine's event. Wallace Homes and Loans specifically is our sponsor. And so I wanted to make sure that we shout that out. And obviously, that's such a huge deal. It's so important to us to have people. So they're our food and drink sponsor for our Galentine's event. So thank you, ladies, that we are hosting at Empower House. Empower House is going to be our main location for this year, at least. And beyond if we can. But it's definitely something that is really important, is having that location that is set and really it helps create the community and it helps make things consistent, things like that. But it's so cool. You guys, my first food and drink sponsor in Powerhouse. I want to talk about the community that you guys are building as community leaders talk about your relationships among your business partners with Empower PNW, how that came to be, really what you guys do, what you offer the community. Just pimp out
EMPW.
EMPW.
It doesn't make sense. We didn't accurately do
That's cool.
the abbreviation, but it's fine.
But I like it.
But we're here now. So
okay,
we're
fantastic. Okay, because I was like, am I right?
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Because like this week or this month is our 3-year anniversary.
Yeah.
Congrats.
Yeah.
So I've known Kelsey since college.
And explain Kelsey because she's not on
Our
our
podcast, but we call it ourselves the tripod. It's Kelsey and Taryn and myself, the founders of Empower PW Women. Kelsey and I have known each other since college. I was actually her big sis in the sorority days. It was such a random match for the big sis little thing. It didn't make sense. We barely knew each other. And now it totally makes sense. Like our whole life, it was meant to be. It's one of those things. So I obviously know Kelsey, obviously know Taryn. I was a president of a biz to biz networking group prior to us starting Empower. It started to fizzle out and we were meeting once a week and it was just it was just a lot, right?
That's a lot.
It's big time commitment.
Yeah.
We just were running out of things to talk about and things to do. And the referrals just weren't really
referring.
It was one of those one per industry type of networking groups.
I had gone to a couple other networking groups too, and then visited a couple BNIs, and then I was talking to Michelle about it. We literally were in the car.
Yeah, well, that networking group basically dissolved because we didn't have enough members anymore. And then I was talking to Taryn, let's just do our own, let's just make a women's one. We want to be with people that we want to be with.
Yeah.
We want to do business with people that are similar to us.
And imagine this, we're in the car, Michelle's driving, we're going to Starbucks. She's like, we should start our own. And I was like, no, we should start our own. That's a great idea. We should do that. And she's like, let's call Kelsey. Bing, phone call. Kelsey's like, oh yeah, what are we doing with this? I'm in.
Yeah, are we starting tomorrow?
Literally how every decision happens in our business is literally
talk.
One person says something. Yep. Yeah. There's never even
always.
We don't ever question each other.
I love it.
Kelsey was like, actually, I'm doing a workshop called Boss
Up
in February. We could maybe launch it at Boss Up, launch this group. And so we literally sat down at a Starbucks
the next day,
wrote out okay, what do we want it to be? What do we want it to So we did there's a few renderings I feel that this group was originally. We were okay, let's try out the one per industry so it's not oversaturated with everyone that's a hairstylist or everyone that's a whatever. And then we launched it at Boss Up, and then our first meeting was in March, and it was how many?
30, I think 30
Amazing.
40
people came.
Yeah.
So we launched it then, and it's just kind of morphed. It's really interesting to see how our members have morphed. We started with a lot of makers. But a lot of people made product.
Yeah.
And now we shifted. We still have some makers, but it's definitely more service-based people. Yeah. And then we went away from the one per industry because honestly, it was more of a time suck for us. Let's just open it to everyone. If it becomes an issue where it's oversaturated in one industry, then we'll revisit it, which
it never had. It never had a problem.
It was fine. And then throughout, there's been different iterations. We've changed our formatting. We've offered more. We've taken back things. It's ever evolving. And I feel yes, we are a referral networking group, but really
that's not the main concern.
Professional, personal development of you as a small business woman entrepreneur. Yes, we want networking. We want people to make true connections and relationships to then pass referrals for their business. But at the end of the day, we're the bonus. We're putting things on our content days. So you get to come in and figure out how to promote your shit on Instagram, how to do,
how to survive this content you did not sign up for.
We still do Boss Ups. We've kind of changed that this year. It's Kelsey leads us through a quarter planning. So you plan after a whole quarter,
and then you revisit it every single quarter.
We've definitely morphed it over the years up to what makes sense for our current members. And obviously now we have the space. So that's a whole other big, exciting, scary thing.
And I think
so excited.
I think one of the things about our group in general is you can feel the connections that happen within the group when you walk in the door. It's the same. I heard it.
Seated.
My God, you don't have to call me out. I was doing good, bringing it down, and you're just bringing it. I am a crier. Tap. I'm a crier.
Love it.
Anyway, it's really awesome.
Maybe it doesn't happen.
No, then it makes it worse. It's rude.
It's rude.
It's just really capital RUDE. Period. But I mean, it's just really cool how the relationship has morphed and people want to hang out and stay later. The collaborations that have formed are genuine. It's not oh, you gave me a referral, so I'm going to give you one. Or you get a 1-minute commercial. who fucking cares? Like, honestly, at the end of the day, it's real collaborations with real people, with raw situations. People cry, people don't cry, people talk about anything and everything. I feel like it's morphed into a really strong relationship between people, which is the whole freaking point anyway. Like, what else are we doing this for? So yeah, I just think that it's like more of like, it's a deeper rooted group.
There's just a lot of transparency during the meeting. We're talking about money. Like, people are talking about, this is how much I made. Like, this is what I'm, focusing on. These are my goals. These are my whatever, like, personal, professional, all of the above. So I feel like it's just honestly, like, to look back on it 3 years ago, to see this space that we created, it's
wild.
It's wild. It's really wild. And I'm just like so thankful. I don't know how the hell you do it with only one of you. There's 3 of us, so they'll be like, okay, I'm tapped out right now. I'm bandwidth. I cannot handle, like, Taryn or Kelsey to tap in with something. The fact that there's 3 of us is super, super helpful. And we obviously have strengths in different places. Kelsey is our back-end person.
We don't know nothing about a website. Don't ask us. Ask us where.
I'll stop.
We'll send you a link.
But,
just kidding.
well, like the events, obviously that's Taryn.
Yes.
Like, that's not Kelsey. She doesn't want to do that.
We were talking about it the other day. Kelsey goes, you know what I feel like? I feel like when we have an event, you guys do the event, and then you come and you just plug me in, and I do the event, and then you plug me out, and then I go each other.
Taryn obviously is really into marketing. She does the socials. We can tag team each other on those things. That's like super helpful.
Yeah, it makes it so much easier. And then also, I feel like our group's a little bit different in the fact that we bring actual tangible business development. Like, I've gone to, like, Rotaries and BNIs and all those events, and a lot of them are about philanthropy, which is awesome. We love to give back. But what we're learning is about that philanthropy. We're not learning about how to better our business in general. Those tips that we can provide to someone, maybe it's someone who is just starting out that can't afford a business coach yet. They literally are getting pretty much a free business profile.
Instagram group chat too of all of our members, and so that's really great for accountability as well. So
and resources.
Tangible thing we are doing at the workshops. Like Becky, we just had our boss up meeting, and she's like, "Look at X, Y, and Z that I just did because I planned it at the boss up meeting." And like you can celebrate, have the accountability, have resources. Like, who the hell can build my website for me? All of that. And then we started a powerhouse, which is a whole other beast of its own.
It makes them
here, but
I know
she was the person that this was like an idea in her head like 10 years ago, and I remember like sitting down and we got brunch together, and she was talking about the space she wanted to open, and I was like, girl, you're crazy. But I mean, literally since we started Empower, she would randomly send us text messages with links to put leases.
Oh, leases.
Like, hell
no.
Yeah.
And also then Michelle's like, that lease is trash. Absolutely not.
And this space became available in October-ish was when that conversation started, and it was just kind of like a right place at the right time situation. And we took over the lease, and we got our keys in December.
But honestly, we wouldn't have this space if we didn't have our group, because the person that needed to get out of their lease was in our group. She needed help, and we were like, well, it was Kelsey. Kelsey was like, she just looked at me. We were all in the same place, and she looks at me and she goes,
just like, makes eye contact.
And I'm like, what? Like, I wasn't reading that right at all.
Yeah, you were busy.
She's like, so this person needs a lease thing. And I'm like, okay, I'm totally just like working on my whatever. I'm over here like doing a loan. I don't know what's happening. And then she's like, so are we going to do this or what? Like in a group section. And literally our responses are yes. I don't know if we're just dumb or we just trust everything each other thinks. But all right, fuck it, whatever. YOLO, let's do it. And then we did it.
It's amazing.
Now we're here.
You should be so proud.
I mean, it's also a little selfish because we host a lot of events.
Yeah,
totally. Like, that makes the most, like, why would you get a space if you didn't?
There is not a space like this in Gallup. So we were like, let's create. We obviously look for a lot of event spaces for our own
stuff. Yeah.
Like that.
You don't have what you need.
You don't have an open space, or there's nowhere you can film.
So you got to like make it what you needed.
Yeah. And I think too, what we realized with a lot of our members in our group was originally when we started Empower, we rotated to different businesses as our thought process was like, you can showcase your business and your space. What we came to realize is that not a lot of people have space. They don't have offices. Yeah. And so there's a lot of people working from home now. Yeah. So the space became a problem. We don't want to keep going to the same space. We want everyone to have the opportunity to showcase their business. How can we make that change, but then have a solid space? Also, we're not worrying about how long is it going to take us to get from this place to this, because it's just like the drive and the parking.
Do they have a TV?
Yeah. Can we present something?
Food?
What? Yeah. Can we bring our own food? You know, there was just so many like factors that played into that. And so it was kind of just like, we did have a solidified space, but, it wasn't a permanent thing.
Yeah.
And, and so for us,
Could have
it was
changed
like,
any month.
and then we were thinking, and we're like, well, all these other people also have this problem.
Yeah.
They're working from home or need that collaboration. So that's kind of what started the whole thing too. It was mostly input from our group that helped solidify the fact we were making the right choice,
this.
right?
Yeah.
We needed this and they need this,
Yes.
right? And like, why wouldn't you want to come to a space where
Absolutely.
you could work and collaborate with other women that are doing similar things? And you're not in the same field, which is fine. But you learn so much more from that than you do with only being in a specific office with people who
Absolutely.
do exactly what you do. And so I feel like the weird things that happen, like you're like, I don't know how to make this Word document into the,
Totally.
or whatever. Or like a calendar thing, like, whatever. Or like, how do I do this to my website? And it's like, if someone sitting next to you knows how to do it, it's an easy thing that happens where you're just helping others,
Yep.
So that's where my number two comes in. My Enneagram number 2 is just
Yes.
wanting to help people. So I'm like,
Yeah.
people need help. We should help them. So yeah.
I love it. No, I mean, it's truly like, as a community leader, which I didn't know that's what I was until at live.
But you
interview.
are. You are.
I didn't know that's what I was doing.
Yeah.
They're like, all the community leaders stand up. Is that me? Oh,
Yeah, that's you.
me? I met a couple other community leaders. I was like, that's what we are. Oh my God. Okay. This is cool. I didn't
Got a new
know.
title. Title
It's
check.
exciting. But it is super interesting as somebody who wants to create community and wants people to connect. This place is so perfect for that because it is like the co-working, the being able to sit next to somebody and not knowing what to Google. Sometimes I just don't know, like my words don't word. And I'm just like, what is that called when you want to do, like, I don't know. And so I can like talk to somebody like, okay, this is what I
I'm
want to do.
thinking.
Show
Help
them.
me.
It is really nice to have that in-person community and that in-person things. I want you guys to talk about, you just had an amazing event with Pacific Northwest Women's Network.
Yeah.
Live 2025. I think that it would be amazing and we would be totally missed if we didn't talk about this.
Yeah.
I'm going to just put my 2 cents out there.
Tell us more, baby. Tell us more.
I will start. I was not sure what to expect. I had never been to an event like that before with all women where it was really focused on everything. I mean, it was very well thought out, from personal development to actionable items that you can take home and put into effect. I didn't know what to expect. And so like I just didn't know. And so showing up and it's just like gorgeous. Your team just crushed it. The visuals were beautiful. The experience, the vendors, everything. It was so well thought out and put together. I know probably on your end, you're like, oh, this could have been better. This could have been better. This could have been, but just know like that the wins from the outside perspective, huge. And I wasn't even at last year, so I don't know how to
compare it to, yeah.
or like, or anything, or like what went wrong. I mean, I did see the balls flying through the
Outside fun.
I was like chasing down the balls, and then someone's like, "Go get Jade," and I was like, "I don't know who Jade is, but okay."
Yeah,
so
sure.
I go run inside. I'm like,
Hey,
Jade?
who's Jade?
I actually thought they said Jay, so I went to the DJ.
Well, you would know where to find Jade,
And
so
it-
that's a
He
good
did.
place to go.
I said, "Are you Jay?" And he goes, "Yeah. Do you have something to do with those balls outside?" He's like,
"No.
that's Jade, and she's right there." And I was like,
I'm surprised you didn't say no, but I'm the only one here with balls. Because that's a normal Jay response.
I am
Yeah.
shocked as
Yeah.
well. You would have been like,
Because probably because he didn't know who you were yet. If
Yeah.
he knew who you were, he probably would have said it.
Absolutely. Probably thought I was some professional. Like,
You are a
He
professional.
thought you were
You're a community leader.
he thought I
Yeah.
was a professional.
Yeah.
Those are different.
Two different titles.
Different type. I'm kind of like a chaos. But yeah, no, I just want you guys to know that was such a beautiful event. I cannot wait to go next year. We are totally buying a Mom Boss table. Like,
Yes.
happen. And there are a bunch of women who would message me and they're like, I didn't know about this. That's my bad. I didn't know what to tell you. I shared one time and then you guys sold out. And I was like, well, okay. And then like VIP tickets were available, but I didn't know. I don't even know what I bought originally. I just showed up and I was like, this is so cool. I dedicated my whole day to it. Even the after party. I was like, whatever's happening, I'm there. Like I told my husband, I'll be home at 9.
We
I was
did
late.
Yeah, we
But,
did. And that's fine though.
So now I know next year I'll be home at midnight.
Just don't give me a time. You know?
Tomorrow we might get a hotel.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
my God, how fun would that be?
That'd be
Okay,
fun.
next year.
Different venues.
Okay, so I should, instead of blocking off one day, maybe just
Two.
block off in
Yeah,
case.
we-
Just in case. Okay,
Uh-huh.
I'll just do it in case. I want you guys to talk a little bit about your relationship with Mandy and the Pacific Northwest Women's Network, how that came to be, that partnership. And then, of course, like,
So another one of those Kelsey going.
yeah,
Hey,
well,
she goes,
both of them.
so Mandy, this is her vision, right?
Yeah.
Like Live was her baby. That she went to a conference and she was like, this needs to come to Washington.
Yes.
I'm doing it. And
Okay,
she's been a part of our group and supported us as well. And Kelsey and her are really good friends. So
like you guys support me.
yeah,
That's so
exactly.
cool.
Yeah, that's literally what we are like
That's so
about. And so she had a conversation with Kelsey and was like, I don't know if I can do it alone. I
Yeah.
mean, I looked at her this year and I was like, how did you do this alone? Are you okay? She's like, I don't know. We just did it. We just said, okay, yeah, just kept going. So she told Kelsey, I just don't know if I can do it alone. And then Kelsey's like,
Yeah.
And then she immediately calls
She's like,
us. So Mandy doesn't know she's going to do live. She doesn't want to do it alone. And then Michelle goes, yes. And I go, yes. This is how we make all our choices. One says yes. The other one says yes.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, okay. So we're doing
Yes.
this. And we were like, yeah, like we're in. What do we need to do?
Dream.
I don't believe Michelle and I got in the car after we packed up our car and we sat in the car and it was dead silent. And she looked at me and I looked at her and she goes, did we just? And I'm like, yeah, that actually happened. Yeah. I don't know how. Because it's something you planned for so long. I mean, we've been planning this thing for like 7 months. There was a lot of planning involved.
7 months is actually pretty fast, even for how.
Well, yeah,
it
was.
that
was because when we originally made the decision to move forward and do it with Mandy, it was in June.
Yeah.
She's like, we're already behind the ball. I started playing this.
Yeah.
For the previous years, so we had weekly calls with the four of us.
Yeah.
Zoom calls. We obviously brought on Jay, who was the event planner, helped with the vendors, which was awesome. We had weekly calls leading up to it. It was a lot of work to find the right people, find the right speakers, find the sponsors, do all of those things to really make it an event that is worth people's money. Like,
Totally.
Are you going to get the value out of this? Is
Totally.
from an outside perspective, would I buy a ticket to go to this?
Why do I want to buy a ticket? And it's like we had to think about the mental behind why are you buying this ticket? What is the price point that it would be worth it to you to come?
Yeah.
And what's the differentiation between the two? You know what I mean? Like what's going to make the most sense? Mandy had a lot of great feedback from the year before. And I mean, she did it, that was a third annual.
Yeah.
So it's happened before. And so she had a lot of great feedback about speakers. Luckily, Kelsey knows a lot of people too. So
She emceed the event.
But yeah, and she brings energy. So it's like, and she's like, we're doing this time, blah, blah, blah. Like everything is planned. And then we're the kitchen crew. We're like the behind the scenes, like, okay, you need a marketing plan? Okay, I'll post the
I loved
things.
your guys' clipboards.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's a whole backstory with the clipboard, but I'll save that for another one. I had at all of Michelle's bachelorette party. Me and her best friend, Michelle, her best friend's name is also Michelle, had it. And I was like, I feel at home with this thing. So I'm just walking around with it the whole time like a weirdo.
It looked very comfortable.
But it was fine. I didn't like it.
Is that how you organize your children?
No, that's not.
That's what we
Maybe
do.
that's what's missing.
Maybe.
I needed to hold it all the time. I need too many
Valentine's. Also, your post about the Valentine's last night. So,
Also, okay, let's do Valentine's, and then let's make you a homemade box. Which
I get it.
I'm like, you're not going with some busted box you made out of cardboard. We gotta make it cute. Last year it was a frappuccino, so I gotta outdo last year. Mom things, you gotta keep doing it. I don't. She doesn't care, but I do because I'm like, no. Like when I had a cool project, at school that my mom's helped me with, I was like, I'm so cool.
You go to school with the busted ass box. It makes me look.
Yeah, no, I look like I'm a horrible mom.
I was like, is she making you look bad? I was
No.
I saw you.
No, she'd do the same thing.
I was
so
like,
I'm not
you made the string bag.
Yeah.
For the
snack
table
bags,
with snack bags with the mighty pickle dragons.
Better, so
and I love this. This totally speaks my love language. Like it's like that's my.
But they're like, oh, you need Valentine's for your 3 kids. Okay?
Yeah, that's
so
a lot of.
And then you need a Valentine's box. Oh, and it's the 100th day of school next week. Oh, and it's Spirit Week. And I'm like, well, and you just came up hosting a huge event. Oh, and you had 2 last weekend. So let's just. I'm like, where's the aneurysm gonna come? But anyway,
we're fine.
With that being said, Valentine's.
I'm gonna put fire behind your section of this podcast.
Heat out of the ear holes.
We're surviving.
Yeah, we're fine. We're fine. Everything's fine.
Okay, I want to now. We are deep into this podcast, and I don't want to go 2 hours. We'll see how far we go, but I want to start talking about the motherhood portion.
Yes.
Yeah,
this is a mom boss podcast, so I definitely want to get into that. So I'm curious, how has motherhood changed the way that you do business? Like, how has motherhood changed not only how you do business, but how you run your business? Let's go with Michelle first.
Yeah. Honestly, the first thing I thought of is when I first started in real estate, I was definitely more like scarcity mindset. Like I want to work with everybody. I want to like have all the clients. I want everyone to
work with me all the time. I'll be gone all the time.
And I feel like once I had kids and you realize just how like precious your time is and how like it is a fleeting moment when they're this age. It is a fleeting moment from, just even when Evelyn was like 74. Like, it's crazy. So it's like, if someone doesn't want to work with me because I'm a mom, I don't give a fuck. Goodbye.
Does that happen?
No, but
It's like people I think in the industry that we're in, we're dealing with a humongous purchase, the biggest purchase most people ever make in their entire life. Yeah. So I'm looking at your financials. She's making sure you're making the right purchase and protecting you, but it's a very serious thing. Yeah. Sometimes I feel like people feel that if your attention is elsewhere, you're not giving them the attention they deserve in that moment. Wow. If you have children, maybe you aren't going to give me the same amount of trust, love, or you're not available as much as someone who doesn't have other responsibilities besides my transaction at this moment.
Yeah. Which honestly, I've gotten to a point now in my career that I don't give a shit. So if you want someone that is 100% available and always can answer your phone call at 9 p.m. at night, then I'm not the agent for you. Now I take Sundays off. Like I used to work every weekend. I don't work Sundays anymore. It's even on my voicemail. I'm very proud of myself. I will say caveat to that. Sometimes I do work Sundays if we had family things on Saturday that I could not then work Saturday, right? So there is always going to be a give and take in your business. Having boundaries is good, but you still need to have some flexibility at the end of the day. Obviously, having kids teaches you have to have flexibility. But I think for me, like it also has solidified this position and this job and this business is what I want to do because of the flexibility it gives me to be with my kids. Like, I drop my kids off every day at school. I'm able to be there. I got a phone call last week. She was sick. I had to go pick her up. Like I was able to move around my schedule. Like I'm not having to like take PTO
or justify it to anybody else.
I mean, yes, if I have client appointments, I need to, of course, do whatever. But that's the other part about why I chose my office, the community and the culture of our office. If I can't do it, I have probably 10 other agents I can call in 5 seconds.
That will help.
Having that community within my industry has been super helpful with having kids. I think it would have been a lot harder if I started this job post kids. If I had kids and then I tried to get into real estate, it would have been a slower start, I think. Yeah. Because I would say my first 2 years were really successful because of the fact I did work so often. Yes. But, everyone has different seasons of their lives, and that was great for me now. And now my business is primarily like word of mouth and things like that. So I'm not doing open houses every weekend, which is nice. And
that you could do pre-kids, that you had to do, and really grind to build up your book of business. Book of business. Same question to you.
Well, I got into being licensed because I had kids. I didn't want to report to anybody. I wanted to be able to drop them off at school. I wanted to go to all their events. I wanted to do those things. And I knew that like working 9 to 5, although I work more now.
You drop your 9 to 5 to work 24/7.
Yeah. It's that flexibility, right, that you have to be able to be present in those things that you want to be present in. I can work from anywhere. Like, honestly, I don't need to be at a specific place. Like, I can work from Empower House. I could work from California if I really wanted to. Like, I could work on vacation. I can go wherever I want to go. So for me, it was a really big movement to go from a salary to all commission. So it's like, I'm going to vomit, but it makes you appreciate your time a little bit more. Yeah. And again, like she said, they're never going to be that age again. No matter how many you have. Yeah. You're never going to be that age again.
That same kid will not be
that same kid will not. You will see it again, but if you want to.
In a different time.
Yeah. If you want to. But so I think for me, that was what pushed me into making the choice to not just be an employee and work for myself. Now, unfortunately for loans, we technically are an employee. So we are a normal W-2 paid person, but obviously it comes out of our commissions. So it works a little differently. It's a little weird how that works. We are like our own business within a business.
Yeah, interesting.
Because you have to have your license somewhere we're federally monitored. For me, it was just like, okay, I can do the things and still have the time with my kids if I want.
And also one thing about Taryn and I, we can probably get done in a 3-hour time period what an 8-hour person could do. When we did have 9 to 5 type jobs, we would get done what we had to get done in maybe an hour, 2 hours. Efficient.
We have something to do. We're going to get it done.
I have a sense of urgency when we work. So it's like we can get shit done a lot quicker and then go do the kids shit and do whatever.
Yeah.
But I think also like we both like the fact that if there is a play at school or whatever, you can go
block out that time.
And then if I have a 7 p.m. appointment or whatever it is that day,
can move it around
because family time or this, and then I can trade it off for that, which I think is the best part about our industry.
We can switch and move things around to have the availability to be there for our kids. And
I love that.
But it definitely comes with boundaries. Yeah. Because you could say yes to everything and then you could be gone every night. So it's up to you and how you want to spend your time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It definitely does.
Do you report to somebody? Like, do you don't have to clock in, or no one's out there like, oh God, I love that.
I can sit on my couch and watch
Yeah,
Netflix all day.
but you won't make money because
won't
you're not
make money.
working.
Correct. Yeah. It's a self-driven.
Yeah. Both of you are self-driven. Yeah.
Self-starter.
Yeah.
Self-starter.
Intrinsically motivated. Okay.
Well, I
and-
mean, when you see your bank account doing it,
yeah.
you're like, oh, shit. And you gotta go sell some houses.
Yeah. Something. We got to do something. We need a deal.
Yeah, I know this life very well as well. Photographer, like I'm in a season where I'm kind of like, because it's like the weather, it's cold, like it's,
Yeah.
and it's just like, oh wait, my bank account is not right with that decision. My mentals are great, but my financials,
Yeah.
that's and so anyway, okay, that's super cool. I mean, like
You don't know. Yeah. Don't know.
Like,
Yeah.
I like industries. I love. That's what that was like the big reason I wanted to start this podcast. Is I'm like, ooh,
What do you
tell
do?
me
I
more.
don't report to anybody by any means. Like I could sell 0 houses and
Yeah.
I don't say anything, but I do have to report to our designated broker in compliance.
Yeah. And I'm the same way. I have a sales
Because it's
manager.
legal contract, I could get sued. So
Yeah.
to make
Yeah,
sure
yeah.
I'm compliant.
Yeah.
in a lot of those things.
Cool. Well, with your line of business, was there anything that you feared about motherhood, like that would change your business? Like, was it feared to go into
100%.
because of motherhood? And
Yeah. I mean, it has taken time to learn the boundaries. It has
Yeah.
taken time.
And it still takes time.
I was 2 weeks postpartum. My baby's in the back seat. My husband's with me. In between showing doses, I'm in the back seat breastfeeding. I didn't know how to say no. But also, it's hard
because you don't want to turn away business.
You don't want to run a business. You sometimes, especially if you're in a season where it could be like scarcity mindset,
Yeah.
you really have to. I've been very intentional lately of like the mindset portion of that because I feel like that then transpires into my business. I will say it's not like it happens overnight. That you
It's a constant battle. It'll never be all or nothing. It's never a 50-50. It's always going to be a 70-30 or
90-10.
90-10.
Yeah.
Next week I'm going to a real estate conference. So like I'm gone from Monday to Thursday, so I will not see my kids for 4 days because of real estate. But then the next week I can see them.
Totally.
Or we not do as much.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's just you have to give and take. I feel like that's everything in life.
That is really nice to have that flexibility.
Yeah.
Especially in motherhood.
Yeah.
It's obviously nice to have that just as anybody.
Right.
But as your job is never done.
No.
You end your money-making job to go to your
Well, and that's
human.
the other word. Money making job never really ends.
Yeah. Ours do not end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Emails, all out.
What do you do? Like when somebody does, you don't respond.
Till the next day.
Okay.
Mhm.
It's just they.
She has more boundaries than me. I respond.
Yeah.
I'm normally
It's like
awake.
2 a.m.
Hi.
Thank you.
I'm normally awake.
After 9 o'clock, like I'm not going to respond.
Yeah.
till the
Yeah.
next day. Yeah.
Do you put your phone on do not disturb or just
I
like
just, yeah. But I'm involved by my bubbles, so I keep it as
Unread.
unread because I have to have a clean.
oh god, I won't show you. I won't show you.
She doesn't like mine either. It's fine.
Like perk palpitations, I hate
I do the same thing. Well, I don't read it so that I can look at it later. And then there's 48 of those.
it.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, I'm not
48. And my text messages are always non-bubbled. It's my emails that are not. That she's like,
my email. What is in my inbox is my to-do list, so I folder everything once I'm done with it. My inbox, if I
It's
can
empty every
scroll-
day.
No, it's not empty every day. But if I can scroll, that's a problem.
I don't do that.
Can we have a whole meetup about
I know,
this?
right?
Like what? I need like a whole thing.
I have PTSD from losing emails, but I don't ever delete anything. Like,
Delete them.
No, I don't delete it.
Folder.
I don't sort them.
Folders. Every transaction has a folder.
I mean, that's good. This is why I am not a real estate agent. Oh God, I'd probably do something terrible. I'd probably like sell the
You would
wrong
probably get
person. Oh, I would 100%.
She sells the wrong house. Well, I'm sorry, wrong one.
Sorry. It almost happened. That's okay. We're
Well,
gonna do a
no,
whole.
we need that
Yeah.
story for
That-
sure.
that
on
almost
another-
happened.
Okay.
Yeah.
We are going to touch on that. Asterisk that. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay. I want to talk about throwing these events. I wanted to get here because it also speaks to the village around you guys so that you can have the capacity to throw these events. You guys are awesome at throwing events. I love it. And I cannot wait to come to one day. One, how do you guys manage your family time with those events? And two, how do your husbands support you? And if they don't, how are we working on that? And then, of course, I want to kind of go into the default parent mode. So let's go into it. Taryn, let's start.
So luckily we have a very large tribe of family
Mhm.
and that's a big help. I have a nanny. Michelle has a nanny. Sometimes we share a nanny. It just depends on what event we're doing and what day of the week it is. But I feel like in order to plan these events, we plan our events out a year in advance. Like our Wallace Homes and Loans events, our plan a year in advance, our Empower events are planned a year in advance. We know what day they're going to be, what time they're going to be, where they're going to be, like all that kind of stuff, the topic, everything. So we plan it out a year in advance, and we've been doing that for 4 years. 3-4 years now. They're very consistent, the same type of time during the year that we do them. We
like,
change
with this time of year. November, we got pies and dips, and we know.
Sunday before Thanksgiving is always drinks and pies, and then we do like a harvest one, and then we do it.
It's very similar every year, anyway, right? So we plan those out, and we will invite our others to those events so that they have it on their calendars.
Your others, do you mean your
like a husband?
others?
Yeah, like our husband.
And Jill.
Our others.
And her mom.
And is also my admin.
Yeah.
She's also childcare 2 days a week for me. She does both.
She's always in on what our events are. She always knows if, one of us doesn't have childcare, like we're tapping Moggy in. So it's very much like we have a very large network of people that help. My parents help. My brother helps. I have a nanny. She has a nanny. Moggy probably by the number one helper in our childcare watching lives. Yeah, we call Moggy. Yeah. Her name's Moggy. Moggy is our one saving grace because she normally knows what we're doing and then fills in. I would say my husband's super supportive, like balls to the wall supportive on any childcare help you could possibly. He also owns his own company.
Right.
He works a lot too. So we share a calendar. We make sure that like we're working together to make sure whatever happens is getting handled with our children and that they're being watched and cared for like all the time. Yeah. And it's a constant ebb and flow because we could have a day where a nanny is sick or something happens to Moggy or my parents aren't available or somebody isn't there. We have to think quick on that and work together. I'll be like, hey, I forgot we got this thing or this came up or this is running late or what can we do? So we really are a team. Free. I've never met a better team, and I could be biased all shit, but literally everything we do is like, you're having a bad day? Great. Okay, I'm stepping in. It doesn't need to be a long conversation. It's just like, hey, where are you at? Okay, cool. Like, I got you, and you got me, right? Most of the time, he got me. I'm a little more emotional. We're a little more emotional than he is. Sometimes. Sometimes.
It's fine.
But yeah, I feel like he's super supportive of what I want to do, and he makes it a priority. To be completely frank, this Empower House would not be a thing if my husband wasn't involved. Luckily, I also do everything with his sisters. He can't really say no to us. Because it's like, you say no to me, you're saying no to both of us. We maybe needed a wall framed. And I was like, you're not a framer, but you can do it. And he did it. He's very supportive in that aspect. So she watched my kids all day so he could finish this place, So I think for us, we both have a really good family dynamic. Like we are literally always together, like just as a family. We do a lot of stuff together, dinners, random dinners, whatever else, parties, everything. We live
That's so nice.
4 minutes if you go the speed limit.
That's so
about she's like, it's 30. Sound 2.5 for me, but that's when I'm in a hurry. So I think that we like just use we have to use our reason. And especially I have 4 kids, okay? Like I mean 2, it's hard, but it's a little easier to manage.
To ask somebody to watch them.
4 is like, it's like a mini daycare at my house. Right. You know what I mean? Every day. So it's like for us, we have to be we communicate very well. We talk about things all the time. And then when we're not talking about things, like Chris and I, it's like, shit's hitting the fan.
I thought that was going to go somewhere else.
No, like shit's hitting the fan.
We're not talking about things.
No. We do have 4 kids, so there's that. They have 4 kids.
All right. I didn't know this was.
If we're not communicating as efficiently as we normally do, it's very apparent. Yes. And then we're like, oh shit, so what's happening?
Yeah. Like, everything's in disarray. Do you guys meet weekly, or how do you guys?
We used to do Sunday meetings, but I would say we fell off of doing that as much. We have a family calendar that we try to stick to. It's an acrylic calendar on the wall, and then we both talk about what are you doing this week? Yeah. What am I doing? Here's the things that are coming up. And then if something changes, we immediately call each other. It's like, hey, this is happening. What should we do? We brainstorm together, I guess, if that makes sense. So it makes everything flow a lot easier. And like, it's easy to have a partner who's also a workaholic. Not that I'm a workaholic, but I mean that you like values
you
that,
value
right?
that. And you value it because you're an entrepreneur.
Right. He feels that way, too. He gets it. And, I mean, they grew up in the same house. So their dad was always hustling for 2 jobs, maybe 3 sometimes. Yeah. He's always doing some sort of other job. So like, I've always had 2 jobs before I had kids. I always had 2 jobs. Chris always had side jobs. So we live our lives that way together. It makes it easier to understand a person. I think it comes harder when you have someone who's not like that versus someone who is, because then they don't get it. Absolutely. You know what I mean? So for us, we get it together. And I mean, there's times where shit falls off, and we're humans. Yeah. It's not like sunshine, rainbows all the time. But for the most part, we are lucky enough to have a very big tribe and be able to communicate what we want out of life together and make it happen.
Feel supported.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, and then I need to know, the same sentiment. Like, are you just gonna say ditto? Like,
no.
No.
My husband and I are very different. I think the default parent thing, that's hard, and I think it's been a learning curve for me because of my communication style. Especially doing this job before we had kids, it was very much like I just did it. Right? I would just go. It's also a communication part, like what works for both of us to communicate, especially because my stuff comes up last minute a lot of times. I have to go to someone's house tonight, so it's a lot of that, like working with, okay, can Moggy stay? Can the nanny stay? Can you come home from work early? You know, that kind of thing. So, and I will say we are fortunate with his job is very flexible because he's the manager of a branch there for equipment rentals. So he is the boss. So if he needs to leave, he can. Sometimes he wants to have an excuse to leave. I can also show up at like 3. I'm like,
why are you here?
I thought you needed no, that's school. I'm like, no, did she get school around 11:15? And the bus drops her off.
And what do you have?
Why are you home?
Just make some excuses. He's like, I was done. I'm done. Okay. Well, no. Welcome home.
Yeah.
So I think for us, it's definitely been a learning curve throughout our marriage. We are both very social people and like to be out and about. So when I have to be gone all day Saturdays or whatever that might be, like there's definitely has been like some learning curves for us and communication in that. The default parent part is for sure on me. Like that's just I feel like always kind of typically happens with the moms. Yeah, so that has been, I don't quite have an answer for that because I feel like I'm
still navigating it. Looking for. You're like, actually, I'll listen to the podcast.
No, I know. So I started sharing my calendar with him. So he has my Google calendar, and he has my location. So it's really funny because when he's bored at work, I'll be like, it will take you 15 minutes to get to your next appointment if you leave the house right now. Like, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
For looking at my calendar. And then, so I think being just like 100% transparent of what everything that I'm dealing with during the day, like he now realizes it, and I feel like appreciates it more when I'm like, I am max capacity right now. I cannot bandwidth anything more. We have 2 very special dogs that we're dealing with right now.
Very special.
Like I can't, like I get the kids.
Yeah, like I'm on the kids.
Get the dogs. Like I have to go literally in like 45 minutes. Go get the dog for surgery. Sports surgery in 5 years. It's insane. So I'm just like, we just have to divide and conquer. And I was like, I've straight up told him, it takes a lot of brain power sometimes to even verbally tell you what it is that I need. I just need you to open your eyes and look around and be like, what needs to be done?
Yes.
So he's definitely like, okay, then he'll be like, okay, laundry, obviously, or whatever that is. And then I have realized I need to be better about communicating. Okay, great. I'm fine with you helping with laundry, but for me, putting the laundry away is actually like the hardest part.
Yeah.
Folding it right away.
That's so fun.
I need you to.
I would love, doing the laundry and even folding it and sitting watching a show.
Sitting watching a show, but
putting it away. Let's finish it.
Not just sit it in a basket. So
I love them.
Right.
They're so helpful. It's like, thank you so much.
Putting it away. And I go to get Evelyn dressed and Michael's clothes.
Yeah.
And Evelyn's
like we're so close.
Oh my God. Scarlett the other day was like, Dad must have put the laundry away again. There's a Sloaney pair of pants in my room. Dad must have put the laundry again. Mommy's undies are in my room. I'm like, how, bro? Like the underwear situation. How are
so
we?
Different.
She's 8. She's 8. I like my left toe could not fit in that leg hole, but the legs are getting hard.
Oh,
because she's 8, and then I don't wear as big of a size as I used to. So now, even sometimes I'm like, fuck, what? I have to
they're also condensed.
They look small, and they're black. Everything's black. It looks the same. I get it, but I'm like,
it comes down to like, I am a very independent person, right? I don't need no man. I have to realize need to let him do some things. Don't just take it all on yourself because then you do become the default person and then you get overwhelmed and then you're burnt out at the end of the day because it's like you're
thinking about this and now you're thinking about what he did wrong and trying to correct it and
and it's like the codependency sometimes too. I'm working through that right now with my coach. So we are having finance meetings now, so it's not all on me. I don't have all the logins. He can log in. He can see it. You know, all of that stuff. So it's really like opening it up. I don't need to do everything, Michelle.
Yeah.
You can get away.
It can be delegated. He will not burn it down.
I will kill you. But
No, I mean, it is interesting. It's hard to not talk about our relationships when you're talking about a mom boss on a mom boss podcast. Right. And of course, you want to respect the relationship and you want to respect, like, I don't want to just sit here and talk shit about my husband, but it is something where it's realistic. We're all going through it. We're not alone in that. And I think it is very important to also remember to let them do it and let them learn and let them make the mistakes, but also kindly show them, like, hey, this is actually not where Michael's pants go.
Right.
Okay?
Well, it's like our finance meeting with all this pets thing going on. We have a lot of medical bills from his emergency surgery last year, and there's just a bunch of that stuff happening. I used to categorize it all and be like, this is what we're fitting in each category. Finally, I was talking to my coach. She's like, just print off a whole month of bank statements and give it to him. And let him digest it and see what comes up. See what questions he has. See where he thinks you guys could budget more or do whatever that might look like. You know, like, because it's always like me telling him,
and he's not going to learn.
He's not going to absorb it. He's not going to realize, and it's like, I feel like that has actually helped.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's good advice.
Ideal about people's finances, you can figure it out. You calculate income, you figure it out, but he don't
Chris
care.
and I are very similar.
Yeah.
Like she's basically married to the main person.
Stubborn in a lot of areas, but a little bit better at communication.
Oh, it's funny. I am sort of a bad communicator in the sense I do the same thing. If I have a photo shoot, I'm going to schedule it.
Right.
Because I can't wait for him to get back to me and for us to converse about it. Like, no, I'm going to
figure
that.
it all out.
I'll figure it out later.
Let me know what's happening.
Yes. And that speaks to the importance of having a good village. Yes. Because if your husband can't step up and watch the kids for that time period or be with the kids, watch the kids, not babysitter. But, like, if he can't do that, then who can do that?
Who can,
Having that support is
so important.
So massive.
We have friends right now that have one kid. They're like, we might just have one because we don't have a village. We don't have the people to help us. Hearing that from other people makes me just realize how fortunate we are.
100%. Yeah, 100%.
I mean, my mom, my dad passed away actually 2 years ago, and she lived with us for a good amount of time. Like, Mom, you can stay here forever because, like, you're big child care. So,
it's fantastic.
But she's also, like, respecting her boundaries, but she lives only, like, 10 minutes away, so having that support is.
It is. And I talk to a lot of friends who do not have the support. I also have a family very much like yours.
We're just
like we
helps everybody.
Everybody helps everybody. I even have grandparents still. So my kids have great grandparents.
That's awesome.
Who are helping out. That's where my kids are today, And so it's like we have such and my parents, everybody's divorced. So like we have like a bunch. You have a bunch of like I don't have to drain.
Not that I would walk a divorced parent.
No.
You know what I mean? Like,
but there's perks. Total perks.
You're like, maybe growing up, not so great. But now
it's great. Everybody, my dad comes to all the family functions. My dad and stepmom, like, they're at everything. I mean, it's amazing. It is amazing. But it is true. If you don't have that village, it does make it difficult to grow your business. It makes it difficult to raise your kids in the way that you want to. I mean, there are so many ways. So I'm glad that we talked about this. Not everybody has that. And the people that do maybe don't value it as much as you.
I think for me too, the reason why Chris and I are the way we are, a lot of it goes to, like, when we had Scarlett, I didn't want him to do anything. I grew up with a single dad, so it was just me and Dad. I was like, I will do it all. I'll take her here. I took her everywhere, and I mean everywhere. We were 2 weeks old at my brother's high school basketball. Why were you doing that? I don't know. I needed to get out of the house. Apparently, I couldn't handle it. But
you needed it.
I took her everywhere. He finally sat down and was like, "You're not a single mom," and I was like, all right, fine. He had to shake me out of it and be like, you don't have to do it by yourself. That's why I'm here. Like, I mean, there's a lot of other reasons, but I'm here to help you on this journey. I want to do this journey together. So I think for me, it was really hard to release that too. But at the end of the day, it was like, after you get past 2 kids, you're like, I can't. Like, there's no way. I'm one human, and I'm also going to lose my ever-loving sanity if I tried to do all this by myself with 3 children. It's not going to work. So at some point, you just get to the point where you're like, whatever. Hey, cool, you do that. I don't know.
Take that one there.
I mean, that one's fine. She walks. That one, no, maybe not. You know, like, it's
that
just
one's too crazy for that situation.
Mostly it's just Aiden.
That's what I was picturing.
Yeah, he's normally the only. The other ones are really well behaved, and then he's just like
3-4 year old age, guys. They've
all been 3 and 4 once.
Was Junior like this?
No, he was a literal charming saint child. I don't know what's wrong with Aiden, but
I think there's something wrong with Junior.
Junior is the sweetest little, like,
in a good way.
Yeah.
Like something wrong with him in a good way because McLean is in like psycho age right now. Like he's having
Junior was he was the
Aiden is the normal.
Aiden's normal.
Yeah.
Not the weirdo. I call him a weirdo.
Oh, right. He is a weirdo, so it's fine. Do you guys want to know what he said to me the other day?
Oh,
I mean, because we're on a mom podcast, and we were at a family function, okay? I have a lot of family, so we were at Olympia at a family function that I am not normally around at. And I'm there with 3 of my children. Dad's at karate with Junior, and I have Aiden, Sloan, and Scarlett, right? Scarlett, sweet as pie. That girl can make friends with anyone. She's responsible. Yeah. She's just like freaking easy, right? Yeah. She has her little spicy moments, but we've gotten through those, right? We're there. Aiden doesn't want anything to do with anyone. And then this little 4-year-old girl comes into the picture, and then a 6-year-old girl comes in the picture, and Aiden is now just like right next to the girl, right? Just talking to her. I'm like, okay, buddy, we gotta go. Like, we're ready to go. He walks up to her, whispers in her ear, literally like, my mom has big old butt cheeks. And then gives her a kiss on the cheek and walks away.
Stop.
And I was like,
my mom has big old butt cheeks.
We have to leave. Like, why did you tell another child your mom has big butt cheeks? I do.
God.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're like,
I worked hard for those.
Yeah,
but also, why did you tell someone? And then you kissed her on the cheek.
Yeah.
What is their obsession with butt?
I don't know. Why do boys like
right
butts
there.
so much? Yeah.
Right there.
Evelyn and Aiden will be FaceTiming each other, telling each other their 2D booties with their butts to the camera.
They just love butts. Right?
Why?
They love butts.
That's so weird.
It is funny.
But then I'm like so embarrassed. And then the next little girl, he's leaving and he walks up to the next to the little girl that's like 2 and just big old smoochy right on the face. I'm like, okay, you're going to be the problem. You're going to be the problem.
You're the problem.
You're the problem.
Yep.
I'm going to get all the calls for you.
Yep.
You're going to have 6 different girlfriends.
Yep.
I'm going to have to be worrying about you impregnating someone when you're older. I'm like, God.
I can't wait to watch Aiden grow up.
Oh my God.
He cracks me up.
Him and Evelyn are literally like the dual trouble.
Oh,
like
I love
if they're not punching each other, just hands to face, punching each other, they're the best of friends, loving on each other, and it's so cute. But then the next minute, someone's pulling someone's hair and someone's screaming.
Like, what even happened?
We don't even know. Half the time, we don't even know what's wrong.
Yeah.
Like when they get to high school, it's not going to be good. Maybe we should send them to different ones.
You're already thinking about that. You're like,
it's literally going to be like Aiden steals the car. Everyone's going to be like, where did Aiden go? And no one's going to know. And he's going to have Evelyn in the fucking front seat. And they're going to be doing whatever they need to be doing.
I can't wait. Let's talk about the Mom Boss community. I'm curious. So you guys do run your own community. You already have a community. You found out about the Mom Boss community. Talk about how you found it, what brought you to it, and what kept you around. Like, why you stuck around.
It was like Gina shared it on her story, and I screenshotted it.
Gina Paulson, she's a photographer. And if you haven't listened to her podcast, you need to listen to it.
I screenshotted it, sent it to Michelle, and I was like, I think we should go to this. She was like, actually, I think we were going to go. I was thinking the same thing. And I was like, should we go? And she was like, yeah, let's go together. I was like, okay. And we just went. I think
the first one, they're Mom Boss OGs.
Yeah.
They were at the first one.
But I think for us, it's different. We run a community, but it's nice.
Yeah.
It
is nice.
It's number one. I would say it's nice to go and not be running it. But number 2, like, not everyone in our community is a mom.
Yeah.
Which no shame there.
Yeah,
we love everyone.
absolutely.
That's fine.
Yeah.
But it's a different ball game.
It is different. Yeah.
It's just so different when you're a mom versus just being a solo person. Because when you're just by yourself, you can get up and do whatever the fuck you want. You don't have to report to anyone, maybe a significant other, but even that's a normal adult conversation, right? So it's like,
it's not like negotiating with a toddler terrorist.
No, it's a different, it's different. And it's also just like, you got this other responsibility, the greatest responsibility in life, and the only job you really ever want, right? But you have to balance it with an actual job that feeds them. So I think for both of us, it was just like one of those things where we're like, it's good. It's nice to understand others in that capacity. There's a different weight, a different sense of responsibility, a different sense of where you're going and what you're doing. And also just that sense of understanding. I think sometimes, people are like, oh, I used to think this before I had kids. Like, oh God, they're just using their kid as a crutch to not do something or to not go somewhere, which we do sometimes. Yeah. But we all do it sometimes. Oh, the baby's saying, hey, we gotta go, whatever.
But yeah. And it's like, you need to recharge.
Right.
You said it was an excuse, but it's the truth.
Yeah,
like, even if you could go, it's like, no, I honestly
just can't. Yeah.
Like, even if I could come, I don't want to, and that's okay.
So I think it's just that understanding of you hustle hard and work hard, but like also you have a whole you're never off.
Yeah.
So that 24/7 of need
Yeah.
and needing to be there for the most important people, but also other people too.
It's an interesting balance.
Yeah.
And it is, it's something you just don't realize until you're until you're doing.
And
You
then
don't
you're like,
realize
oh.
how your business will change or how you will change, or like you can't work at the same capacity as you did before. When
Nope.
your kids are a certain age, you start to do that more. You start to get out of the fog and you're like, holy shit, I am a human.
Yeah.
And then like, and it's okay. Like it's okay to understand the different seasons. It's
Right.
okay. And then, and
Yeah. So I think for me, I ditto to what Taryn said.
Yeah.
But also, I think like it is a different experience when you're going there. Again, we're not leading it, so but you can actually be present and take in what's being talked about or whatever that might be. But it's also just like, why not have another?
yeah, makes fun. Yeah.
But also, why not have another group of women, the same caliber of women that come to our
Yeah, it's the same.
and have a
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. Like I'm not.
We're friends.
Yes.
We're very social people, obviously.
Yeah.
So we like to be social, and I just feel like it was the level of women that come to the meetings and the different topics and things that you guys do has been why we've continued to go, and just like the genuine connections and community that you've created. I think that's what has continued for us. Like a lot of the moms can't go to our meetings because our meetings are like 2 to 4 or whatever. So it's nice to have that extension
to come.
of another group of women that we
Yeah.
can connect with.
I thought it was so cool when I didn't know you guys, and then you're like, you show up and you're like, oh, we run a community group or networking group or something. First of all, I didn't know that's what I had created.
Also, why are you here? And
I was like, what are we doing? But no, I was like, ooh, that's cool. Like they're here, and then you guys kept coming, and I was like, and obviously I like you guys. Then like we are doing, we're doing similar but different things. So
Right.
it's like really fun. We have a lot of people who come to both.
Yeah.
And it is, I'm different. And I tell that to people. I'm like, you're not coming to this professional. It's like, we're not doing that. But there are groups that are doing that.
Yeah.
So you want that, go to that group. But that's not what I'm doing. And that's okay. That's what I think is nice about having a lot of people who do go to both or like go to multiple. Like there's so many who didn't even know about it. And I love it so much. Thank you guys for coming and like, being so involved and involved. This is going to be like fun questions now because I think we're going to like have a separate, podcast for you guys each individually and we'll get it. We'll cry on like, we'll like, really, she'll cry.
She doesn't
we'll
cry.
just laugh. And like, talk about who knows.
She'll laugh. She doesn't cry.
No. So yeah, I want to that.
I want tears.
What do you consider your superpower? Let's start with you, Taryn. Let's start with you, Michelle. I'm just kidding.
For me, I would say doing the thing.
Yeah.
Do
it. Ask questions later.
Yeah. Like, just like, oh, you need, like, I don't even have to talk to people. We'll be somewhere and I'm like, all right, I'll get up and do whatever it is. I don't know if it's knowing people or situations, but I feel like if there's a problem, I'll solve it. If there's an issue here, you need this, you need that. Okay, I got it over here. All right. Just gonna, and I just do things. I don't think about it. It's second nature. I just do the thing. Always.
Superpower.
Like I was thinking something.
You think the same?
Around that exact thing, but it was something about we just don't say no. Like we just get it done. Like that was my thought. But
I think you want me to answer for you. Okay.
Yeah, I do.
I think for Michelle, her superpower is like her positivity because she's always so positive. To the point, sometimes I would be like, bitch, like I need you to just let me be for a minute because I'm about to punch someone out. I need you to just, and her brother's the same way. Sometimes I'm like, God damn it, that's why I know you guys are related. But she's just always so positive. So everywhere we go, she's like, okay, well, we'll just do this and then it'll be fine. We're going to go over here and do this and it's going to be fine. And I'm always so positive, which is great. Sometimes I just want to complain. I just want someone to talk shit with me. But most of the time, she's always like, okay, we're going. Okay, she's like,
action time.
Cool, So the silver lining is you have this, and this. So stop bitching about this and just go do that. And I'm like, fuck, fine. Yeah. And that's how I know her and her brother related.
Yeah.
That's literally one of the main
pretty
reasons
funny.
because they're literally the same way. Like anytime I tell him something, he's like, but you have all these other things and we can fix it. And then he wants to fix it. And I'm like, I don't want you to fix it. I just want to be mad. I just want to yell for 5 minutes. Okay. And then I'll be fine and I'll figure it out. I need to yell. She is like so positive. And everyone knows that. So people gravitate towards her because of her positivity that she has. I definitely think positivity is
I like that.
well,
Do you want to give one to Taryn? Because I kind of like it.
I would say the get shit done, but loyalty too.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Fucking loyalty.
Yeah.
I love too loyal.
I love
Too
that so
loyal
much.
sometimes. So.
Those
I was
Loyal
gonna say,
to a fault.
I was gonna say these hoes ain't loyal.
Loyal.
But that's not you.
It's opposite.
That's opposite.
Yeah.
These hoes so loyal.
New song. Remix.
Okay. What are your birthdays? Michelle, let's start with you.
June 14th.
June 14th. Oh, yeah, you're a Gemini. Okay. So I'm going to preface this by saying that these are pretty good. But
Pretty good.
I'm curious, like 99% of the time it's pretty good. You are generous and will give freely of your time, efforts, and bright ideas to help others. Like most natives of Gemini, you are active, adaptable, and versatile. You have unusual talents and a fine intellect. I think it's spot on.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Spot
Yes.
on.
That's pretty good.
Dude, that's
Pretty
good.
good.
Okay, your birthday.
July 30th.
July 30th.
Fiery ass Leo.
Oh, you're a Leo. I don't know anything about Leos, but my
They're
girls are
fiery.
Leos.
They're fiery.
The twins. I
Yeah.
have twin Leos.
I'm
Is
sorry.
that aggressive? Really?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Really?
She's also a Leo.
Oh, really? Okay, I'm going to need to learn more about Leos. You are inclined to be tactless, honest, fun-loving, and always ready for action.
Yeah, see?
What? You may be overly fond of luxury and apt to be ruled by your emotions.
Oh, weird.
You appreciate affection and kindness and will work hard for it.
Mm-hmm.
You are capable, talented, and altruistic.
Yeah, that's very true. I'm like literally on the dot.
Dude,
Yeah.
and it's this little tiny book.
Where did
from
you find that? At a thrift store? Where did you
great-grandma's.
find that?
It was my great grandma.
That's so cute.
Isn't that amazing? And it was made in 1958. And
I like how you just like pulled it out and it's just like the cutest little book I've ever
know.
seen.
So yeah. Anyway, I thought that was pretty cool. Last question before rapid fire. What is the last thing you listened to on your music app? Like WAP explicit?
I don't even know.
You can't even say it on like.
No, like what?
You're like, actually, you're gonna have to like send.
The new Bruno Mars song with what's her name?
Yeah,
Sexy Red.
I've heard it. Yes.
Time I come here, we've
More like hood stuff on the way to the beach.
Yeah.
And then I listen to country on the way home and then country
Oh.
when I'm driving
Yeah.
more podcast.
good kitty, good
Oh.
kitty, making my pet. You know, Bruno Mars. Now that he says pussy, you know,
Yeah.
it's a little weird. We're not
Yeah.
sure what we think about it, but I think I like it.
Yeah.
So,
We're
I'm
like
going
into
with
it. So I'm
Yeah.
gonna listen to it over and over
yeah.
again.
Yeah, it's a
Okay.
good song. Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is rapid fire. First thing that comes to your mind.
Is this gonna be like Step Brothers, where we're like, do we just become best friends?
Maybe.
I feel like that's
Should we say
We're
it at the
already
same
there.
time? If you weren't a realtor, you'd be a.
Probably a restaurant owner or bar owner.
Ooh, I like that.
Probably
if you weren't
an
a
event-
loan officer.
event planner.
Okay. Favorite color.
Pink.
Furry.
Dance move.
Twerking.
We're usually doing some sort of twerking.
Yeah, that's like
Like, do you get on the wall? Like,
yeah, I've gotten
oh,
on
I'm
walls.
totally at this.
I've gotten on the side of a trailer. I've gotten
Yeah,
on a
yeah.
wall. What,
I like
I don't know other surface you want, but yeah, probably all of them.
Okay. City to visit.
Oh, like did I want
Your
to visit
favorite.
or that
Either-
I have visited?
either.
I love Scottsdale, Arizona.
Scottsdale.
That's really hard.
She's been a lot of places.
If it's not international, if it's in the U.S., I would say maybe either Nashville or Southern California. If it's international, probably Italy. So Amalfi Coast.
Okay. I want to go to the Amalfi Coast. Favorite food.
We literally eat the same thing every day.
What's the non-meal prep food? Like,
Italian, like give me
Italian.
all the pasta and
Yeah.
cheese. I want it in
Okay.
my mouth.
Cheese, a charcuterie board.
Yeah, we would probably just make 17 charcuterie boards and eat them.
Yeah. What's your favorite kind of writing utensil?
Oh, ultra fine tip pen. I have a specific pen. It was like ultra fine tip.
Okay.
With lines.
Black or any color or all? Okay. Okay. Black only.
Black like your soul.
Yeah. But she has a
Black
shiny.
like-
I thought she was positive.
Yeah.
A positive
but
black
my
soul.
is
Okay.
soul.
I
Yeah,
like it.
we don't understand.
We don't get it.
It's fine.
I like my coffee like I like my soul.
Yeah, I gave her a cup that said.
It's like drinking dirt, by the way.
Sweetener in it, but it just doesn't have a lot.
Oh,
of
okay,
fruit.
okay.
Yeah.
I don't really care.
What was the question?
Favorite writing utensil. Favorite writing utensil.
Like, what was the question?
I
You
don't.
don't- you don't-
No,
Oh.
I don't really care.
Is this-
I don't-
I have like different writing utensils for like different personalities.
I started writing with a pencil, like an actual normal pencil.
Ew.
I was kind of like I was doing the finance audit. With my
But like a mechanical?
no, it was like the yellow. It was very sharp.
When it's
You know
so-
what? I will say something. I really like the way a pencil smells.
Okay, we'll take that. So we'll take that.
Is
as
that
well.
weird?
A little.
Yeah.
But I like-
you know what I mean? Like I
Yeah,
also
yeah, yeah.
like the smell of gas trucks.
I like the smell of a garden hose.
Yeah, but I get that. I get that though. I get
Yeah.
that. I get that. It's-
Okay.
But that's like in memory too.
Yeah,
that's
well,
like
it's a nostalgic
yeah.
thing. What's your favorite scent?
Ooh, like a warm
Just a
cashmere, like I like a no, like smell. Like I like a warm vanilla, musky, comfy, cozy.
Do you have a specific brand?
EOS vanilla cashmere body lotion, shea butter. I take hot shower because I'm like the person who likes the boiling hot water. And then I get out and I put that on, and all I want to do is put sweatpants on and get in my bed. It's like literally like the most comfy smell ever.
I'm gonna have to try this out.
Well, scent wise, like on me, I really like my Burberry Goddess spray, but I was thinking candles.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
I love like Christmas scented. Yeah. I love Christmas.
Yeah.
Like I think I would literally have. Yeah, I love.
Do you like for the Christmas? Do you like a nice? Yes, I'm a pine candle girl. Yeah, love it. I love it. Like, give me all the pine candles. I love it. Okay. Well, that's the end.
That is
the end. Bye. I wanted to say thank you so much for your time, obviously, as moms and business owners and event planners and community leaders and all the things you guys have going on. You didn't have to do this today, but it was so fun to get to share your story and share so much shit I didn't know about. I was like, oh, really? You're going to see the video and my face is going to be like, hey, what? And they say, that's pretty cool. But I wanted to just say thank you for taking the time to share your story with me, the Mom Boss community, with us. I wanted to remind you that Wallace Homes and Loans will be the food and drink sponsor at the Galentine's event on February 26th at Empower House in Puyallup. I'm so excited. So grab your girls, wear your pink and red, and RSVP at themombossmeetup.com. We cannot wait to see you guys there. Thank you so much.
Yes.
All right.
Bye.